Hey guys, so welcome to the show. Hope you guys are doing well. I recently just got back from US Open where I got to watch a lot of people fight. I got to see a lot of my old friends again, which was really awesome. And I got to see some awesome high level fights because there are different countries flying in now to compete there. And one of the guys who I really like watching all the time is this Zhao from China. He won the US Open actually. So he had some very good fights. He had good fight against one of my friends over here in Northern California. And this guy's been in the Olympics. This guy knows what he's doing. And so it's someone we can learn a lot from. That's why we're covering him today, especially because he's one of the best in the world. Now, I did watch a lot of his fights, and unlike some of the players I cover, like Russia or some of the Taipei guys I cover, he those guys have like one or two techniques that they use very, very well at like a really, really world class level, and then they use that on everyone, and it's everyone's job to try and adjust around it. Zhao doesn't really have that one or two super good techniques. He has an all around game, and he uses that to his advantage by changing the variables. Now, one of the things I noticed Zhao does well both at U.S. Open. I don't have any film from U.S. Open of this guy fighting, unfortunately. But number two, what I'm watching from here is he is very good at launching techniques once or twice a match when the opponent is least expecting it. And we're gonna watch that here at the end, near some of the end of the end of the round. He's very good at launching kind of a surprise attack. And the reason that works and is effective because the opponent's not expecting it, and two, there isn't enough time near the end of the match for the coach to adjust to it. And so he does that very well. That's number one. Number two, I noticed this guy also does a lot of great end of round management, as in like the last 30 seconds, whether he's ahead or behind, this guy knows what he's doing. He knows what he's looking for. And I see a lot of people who near the end of the last 30 seconds, whether they're ahead or behind, they're not very cool under pressure. Those guys like uh, either they spin too much already, they spin too much, or they're too rushed to get the point, and they don't really think it through, or they're not that they're not cool under pressure when the time counts, when you're supposed to be trying. Maybe just you need a couple body shots. Maybe it's not the time to do an Audubon 4 times in a row or try and hook kick off of every kick. Zhao's in there during those last crucial seconds, and he knows exactly what he's doing. And the last thing we're really going to look at from Zhao here in the ones I was able to find of him is he does have a fail-safe technique which he uses very well. It's not super fancy. It is, in my opinion, it's his ace in the hole, but it's not a super fancy technique. It's something all of you guys can do during your matches. It's maybe something you can use also during your own fights when the game's on the line. And if you're doing electronic scoring, man, it's proven effective by this guy multiple times. At first, when I saw it, I was kind of like, oh, he got kind of lucky. And then I was watching his other matches, and he's doing it again and again and again. And if you do it multiple times, man, I don't call it luck. I call that just that's just a skill. So anyway, the first thing we're gonna be looking at here is how he's handling these matches or these rounds against Bradley Sinden from GBR. He's a very good fighter. In this final, Bradley had just beaten Daehun, and these two are going at it. We're gonna be watching kind of the last couple seconds of this. I did fast forward it because there's a lot of break time while they're trying to go after a video replay. What's the score right now? The volume's super low, guys, because there's a lot of cheering in the background, and I don't want you guys to have to listen to the cheering the whole time. Let's fast forward it. So we got like, oh my gosh. Okay, so we have about 10 seconds on the line, right? 10 seconds on the line. China's down. Every round counts. How is he handling it? Notice he doesn't spin. Notice he's not charging straight in. Notice he's not doing triple kicks. He's looking for something specific. Boom. You guys catch that? Look at his whole setup this last 10 seconds. He knows Bradley's going to defend. It's 10 seconds left. The main weapon is the front left leg. Watch how many times he draws. Most people will, during the last 10 seconds, man, they throw it already. Like they throw the ace in the hole right off the bat. Draws it. He draws it a second time. He draws it a third time. The fourth time, he knows it's coming. Boom! Hits the back kick. Easy peasy. Defends it. There's supposed to be another +2. They give it to him in the next round. But if you guys watch him when he's fighting here, so many people during this time are freaking out already. I mean, given this round one, maybe not as bad. They think they're gonna make it up the other rounds. But Zhao's very good at drawing what he's looking for and making you fall susceptible to that happening. Um, where's the next timestamp? 11:25. There's argument about the +2. That one actually goes to China because that was a 2-point back kick. You see GBR's ahead again. 11:25. GBR's very good front leg. He's catching him. 11:24. GBR's ahead again. Let's watch how Zhao handles this. 20 seconds on the line. Not as high pressure because he won the first round, but he's still very calm under pressure. I want you guys to notice that. Still, he's not running in. He's not throwing a bunch of fancy kicks. He's not doing any of that. He's just inching in, trying to get the 1 or 2 points. That was a pretty good setup. The first time I watched this, I kind of lost my shiz. Um, because I think he threw the back kick only once in this round earlier, and so China already knows that's the counter to GBR is that back kick, and he doesn't throw it every single time there's an engage. He keeps it hidden. He keeps it hidden. He keeps it hidden, and then here, even in the last 10 seconds, he doesn't throw it. Good. He gets that draw first time. He makes him think that that's what's gonna happen. Then this time, clash and dude, he doesn't hit it that time, but man, does this guy get a trapping. It becomes 8-1 because he tries to follow up after that. That was the ace in the hole. It didn't work out. And then he gets scored on backside like 5 times or twice. So it didn't work out. But you can see the common theme here for Zhao isn't to throw the ace in the hole right when the 10 seconds hits. He makes sure that the guy's conditioned into doing what he wants to do first before he throws the ace in the hole, increasing the likelihood of that hitting. And granted, that like almost hit. Next timestamp was 15:07. So Zhao a little bit ahead here. Good. Now something to note here. This whole match has been kind of back and forth. He's been throwing a lot more back kicks this round. He did throw a lot more back kicks this round. So now GBR is expecting more of that. But here in the defense, he changes up what he normally does, which are back kicks, into headshots because he knows Bradley has to come in, and he hasn't been throwing these. Therefore, Bradley or Sinden isn't expecting them, and this increases the likelihood of them hitting. Good. He's still keeping it hidden. Still keeping them hidden. Tries for the back kick again. Nice try. And nice try again. Almost. Now, had those hit, I mean, that's the nail in the coffin right there. He's very good at conditioning your opponent to not expect one of those two. He conditions them that like either there's going to be a cancel or it's going to be their front leg, and then he does something unorthodox that he hasn't shown before. As you saw here, the front leg to the head, and then right away to the back leg to the head. If you guys want to watch the whole match, I'm going to link this below. Bradley does a great job here setting up something unorthodox himself, and he throws a back kick. I think this is the first time he throws a back kick like the whole match. Boom, and he hits it, and he walks away with the win. I mean, using Zhao's tactic against him, it's effective. Going into the fourth round or the third round here, 18:25. Sorry, we're 3-3, 40 seconds on the board. Notice how cool Zhao is under pressure, guys. Like, that's what I want you guys to take away is get used to do your drills where you got 10 seconds left and you're down and you got to make up the points. If you got Dato, that'd be best. 30 seconds to go, 3 points down. If you guys have Dato, that'd be best. Drill that situation repeatedly and see what kind of. Make sure you're calm under pressure in those situations because that's usually where games are won or lost. Is the last 20 to 30 seconds of a match, especially the last 10. I mean, Zhao's only throwing his ace in the hole with 5 seconds left. There's hit or miss. Um, Hit or miss. That's when he's doing it. Here he doesn't throw the back kick because he's been throwing back kicks this third, fourth round. So Bradley knows it's coming. But even though he's down here, Zhao's still cool under pressure. He understands he only needs to get. He doesn't swing for the fences. Like very rarely are you seeing Zhao swing for the fences, meaning like a hook kick or an Audubon or something fancy. He's just calm, cool, and collected. Basic points. Nothing fancy. Here, boom, he's a little bit panic under pressure, but he knows, dude, he knows either there's a force out coming out here or he's going to be running in, and he's expecting it. A lot of people right there would try and go long. Understood Bradley's coming in because he's cool under pressure, like I've been saying. Comes out with the win on this round. This guy's ring management the last 30 seconds. I mean, at U.S. Open, this guy was ahead, very small margins also sometimes, and high pressure offense just straight into the defense. Just watch this guy under pressure, guys. Like it's something you have to train for. It's something you have to drill on, so you're not panicking during the last 20, 30 seconds of your match. Good. So he's down again. Just so you guys know, Zhao wins this fight. Like he's constantly down, but because he's handling the last 20 to 30 seconds of every round very well, he comes out with the win. He's down 6-1. If Bradley wins this round, Bradley wins. Like this is game point. This is do or die right now. And same thing, Zhao here, 20 seconds left. He's not swinging. Notice he's not swinging from the fences. This is something I saw a lot at U.S. Open. A lot of people here trying to go big or go home. He knows. I mean, granted, throwing back kicks, sure, it's normal counter against the front line defense. Nice try. He's able to get point there and a force out. Oh wait, sorry I fast forward that. No swinging for the fences. Nothing fancy. It's straight just managing the ring a little bit, trying to just get those 1 or 2 points. So point and the force out. He's gonna be down by 1. Or down by 2. Bradley messes up here. Notice here, Zhao's still not freaking out. Oh, sorry, we rewound too far. He's waiting for what he wants, waiting for what he wants. Tries for it. Bradley messes up there by grabbing a little bit. 3 seconds on the line. No fancy spin moves. No fancy anything. He's just looking for that shot underneath. Good force out. 6-6. Granted, this isn't China, so I mean, there might be some home court advantage, but no fancy spin moves. No swinging Hail Marys, whatever. It's all very basic, all very calculated, all very calm, cool, and collected under pressure. That's what I found so interesting about this guy. He did go to Golden Point, and this kind of segues me into when I was watching him fight. One of the things he does very well in under time pressure here is the technique he's about to use to win this match. 25-28. Make sure you guys don't sit through 10 seconds of him standing around. Good. Watch. He shoves his left leg in there, and he just keeps hitting it. Now, Bradley did a good job here trying on the offense. Almost got that cut. Trying to go underneath. Zhao's default move is that. Get the foot up there and keep hitting it. Get that foot up there and keep hitting it. So, for those of you guys who don't really know when to use the double tap on the armor, this is the example. right there. Now, the first time I saw that, and I was like, dude, what a lucky guy. He snuck that shot in there, and he ended up winning. But as we look through the other matches here, it's not the case. He uses this quite often to win a lot of his matches. So here it's him versus Perez. So once again, just a quick recap for you guys are watching. One, when you're under pressure in the last 20, 30 seconds, that's usually where games are won or lost. You need to be calm, cool, and collected under pressure. You don't necessarily need to swing for the fences. Some situations call for that, some don't. But as you can see here with ZHAO, most of them don't. He's just 2 points. He's happy with the 2 points. He manages his time very well. And it's a lot of basic stuff. A lot of just um, looking for round kicks to the body, or trapping and ensuring that guy's doing what you want to do before you throw that back kick. Or if you're ahead and you haven't thrown a headshot with your with your opposite leg before, or you haven't thrown a headshot offensively before, dude, that's the time to throw those stuff because that's when they're not expecting it. They're a lot likely to come in. And managing the ring, just overall, just train. You got to be trained to be cool under pressure because a lot of people are doing kicking drills down the room. A lot of people are just trying to work on that cool technique to try and score points, but no one's really. I want to. It'd be cool to see people manage and train to manage in the last 20 to 30 seconds. I don't think that's something that's drilled enough, which you can see here is obviously drilled into this guy and is paying off big dividends. I mean, Olympics, won U.S. Open, won the Grand Prix, or I think this is Grand Slam. Dude, it pays off, man. Do it. As you can see here, score is 0-0. It's 3-4. This is for rounds. 3-4 China. Last 15, 20 seconds. We can just watch watch a little bit more. Last 20 seconds, China's ahead. How does he manage? It's content closing. A lot of this is eating time right now. Good, nice try with that. Good. Zhao's freaking out. Or not Zhao. That's what I'm saying with the double tap. I showed you guys these videos just to show you guys that in the last few seconds, Zhao uses this a lot. Here, had the lead. He's not necessarily pressuring forward. That might not be the right defense for Spain. And so in this situation, he's throwing a little bit defensively until Spain overshoots, closing and clinching, and then running out the clock. Last 4 seconds. Now, if he runs out in this situation, Gamjang, that doesn't count because it's 4-4. The round is tied. So he has to come up with some sort of defense that's going to counter Spain or nullify his technique long enough for the clock to run out. And he runs to his default left leg in like on the Hogu double tap. Yep. He hits it. He doesn't even like check the score. As far as I know, he doesn't really check the score because he knows this is going to score already. And this technique, guys, for you guys who are watching, this is very simple to do. It's get it on the Hogu and just keep swiping swiping at the armor. Is it pretty? I mean, is it super powerful? Not really, but it works, right? It was allowed him enough, gave him 2 points so he could get a Gamjang and still win the match. This is that, and then the last example, guys, here against Korea. Sure, yeah, sure, he has a commanding lead. 24 seconds, that's a lot of time, though, especially if they have momentum, for them to maybe be able to catch up.
Credit to Kim Sok Bae, hasn't given up. He's trying to go for it here.
Good. To secure his lead. Cuts him out first. Cancel. Right there. Same thing on the flick. Notice also a lot, too. Zhao will start with the right leg cancel, and then he'll switch it back to his left. And then he'll start using that to flick because the guy's expecting it on the front. And so they'll start covering that or expecting that to happen. And when they scoots in, they kind of let it go by before it starts hitting their armor. And then he secures it. Boom. A flick to the body. Exactly. That's exactly what the announcer said. It closes the door. Like, that's the ace in the hole. There's nothing more devastating than when you're trying to get points and you're down and they score again. It's just like, well, that's it.
Up
That's game.
and closes the door on the ambitions of the Korean
Exactly as the
Sokbi.
announcer is saying.
And began to look
Here
slight
he takes a gum
difference in terms
jung.
of the official records,
He's trying for the spin.
but going on to try and break yet more
Good
records will be
cancels, and
charged
then I
by
think
of
he hits a
China.
Pachagi later.
Also happily.
Yeah, he's
Husseini
just running out the
awaits.
clock. Ooh,
Charged
almost.
by.
But as you guys can see here, things Zhao does very well. Besides, I mean, in the game, a lot of stuff changes. Overall takeaways. If you guys want to watch this clip, this one's amazing. Bradley Sinden versus Zhao. There's a lot to learn from this about adjusting and when to throw kicks and when is a good timing. Um, Something I was saying earlier, unlike some other countries or some other players who have like one or two really good techniques who they shove down the throats of everyone, Zhao's game is more well-rounded. He doesn't have those one or two that are super fancy, and he only uses those. He has a very well-rounded game and does a very good job hiding the weapons he's going to use until he sees what he really likes. Two, managing the last 20 to 30 seconds. And then three, he has an ace in the hole double flip left leg to the body, which is very easy to do, but is very good at securing your win. Um, that's it, guys. I mean, this is from like the world champion, or not world champion, but the Olympic one of the guys who went through the Olympics. And so that's something you guys can add to your game. Is when you guys are practicing on your own, or you're practicing at your school with a partner, with your training partner, put the timer on for like 25 seconds and see if you can have some scenarios where you're behind, have some scenarios when you're ahead, and practice being cool under pressure. Um, Second, also try and practice the conditioning he set up. Like in the first example here, 541, he doesn't throw the ace in the hole right away at 10 seconds. Good, he gets the front leg. He gets the front leg up. He tries for the headshot, doesn't work. Still baiting the front leg. Third shot, front leg again. Make sure that front leg is firing. Last one, back kick, scores it. It's a lot likely. It's a lot higher chance of scoring now because he has been drawing that front leg a lot, and two, because their opponent's not expecting it anymore. It's no longer in their area of awareness for them to think about like, oh, maybe this is gonna come out, or like maybe this is gonna come out. If Zhao had been throwing back kicks this whole time, Bradley would have changed his defense, right? So you want to make sure your opponent is conditioned to do what you want before you trap. So there's that takeaway. And then third, practice the nail and coffin. Nail in the coffin technique for Zhao is that left leg double tap. That could be yours if you want to. It's pretty easy to execute. Other people have their own go-to moves. I would suggest practicing yours so that way you have it when the time is right. That's it for today, guys. There's a lot to learn from these fighters. I'm very impressed with this guy's performance at U.S. Open. And that's it for today, guys. If you got something valuable, please leave a like or subscribe or comment below. I really like your guys' feedback, so I know what to do more of, what to do less of. And besides that, thanks for tuning in, guys. See you guys next week.